Greetings. This is Grandmaster Ra. I'm going live. Oh, I haven't even finished my work here. It's grade 17. And coming to you from Mombasa, Kenya, where I have lived for 21 years. Originally from Los Angeles, California. High school, I went to East LA East LA College, and then Rio Hondo College, where I developed enough credits to graduate, but didn't go for my graduation, like so many of us have been. Became Black Conscious in 1986. Changed my name in 1987, January the 1st, and started self-educating myself, where I built up a large library of books, cassette tapes, and the recent VHS tapes. And that propelled me in knowledge very quickly. And I was able to rewind my VHS tapes and play them back again, many of them from Ashwa Kwesi's African Origin of Civilization, African Origin of Religion, part 1 and part 2. I had to be the first person to buy his tape, his VHS tape, when he came out with African Origins. And Ashwa Kwesi is a great source of information if you want to start out becoming Black conscious. If you don't know, if you're trying to become Black conscious, there should be like steps, because the mind game is terrible. And I would recommend that you watch Ashwa Kwesi videos, so he can give you a concept of how much we've been deceived. And that is the topic of this video. All warfare is deception. Because I just don't see how we can go here and talk about staying in the United States with all the deception that has gone on, that we already know about. I mean, I was reading the Frederick Douglass's works, and he was talking about how he had wished he didn't know how to read, because when he became enlightened, he realized that he was a slave and that he was amongst so many slaves. You got to imagine someone like Frederick Douglass back then in the 1800s was educated and conscious. He was surrounded by slaves and black people who just were, had no education whatsoever, didn't know how to read and write, and he couldn't really. And it somehow I really felt what he was talking about, because I'm a fanatic. Let me not lie. I was a fanatic and trying to be an LAPD, a police officer. I was a fanatic in when I was running track and cross country in high school, and I was building race cars and racing cars. I was a fanatic. I had an Oldsmobile 442 70 last year for speed. I must have rebuilt the engine 3 times, timing chain, valve job, transmission, dropping it. I did all those works on the car. And, when I got into martial arts, I was a fanatic. I had to be the best, It's just like, everything I did, when I look back at my life, and I'm kind of looking at that now, I was a fanatic. So when I got in Black consciousness, when I became Black conscious, which was like 5 years into my martial arts, I started reading everything I could. I must have had like 40 or 50 tapes from Farrakhan, because those days Farrakhan used to do a lot of cassette tapes, and you could buy them. I would just sit and listen to him, driving my car, listening to Farrakhan, and Then I got other books, and then when I found SON bookshops, oh, that was the end of it. I was there every day. That brother, I forgot his name, he knew me well because he knew when I came in, he knew I was gonna buy a gang of stuff every time. So he remembered me, and now I realize that it wasn't that he just remembered. He knew like I was a damn good customer. Because when Marcus Garvey came out with it, when they came out with the book on Marcus Garvey, that book was $65, and it was like 5 volumes, each one $65. And I sat there looking at that book for like 30 minutes, thinking, should I get it? Should I not get it? Should I get it? Damn, it's a lot of money, you know. And that guy was behind the owner. That's why I was probably behind the counter, like, you know, come on, you can do it. Pick it up, you know. And I eventually did pick up the volume 3, and bought that bad boy for $65 back in the 1980s. I was a fanatic. And this is why when I talk about this thing of all warfare is deception. This comes from one of the books I read, Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu, sorry, The Art of War. And we as Black people need to look at that because the whole key to what has been done to us is deception. It's deception. Okay. I hear that you can be knocked off YouTube for talking about wrong things now. I was watching another video. This lady was talking, and then she said, "I know this video is going to be demonetized because of the subject matter she was talking about." And I'm like, "Damn, you know, I thought we could talk about anything we want. I thought it was like a free country." But I'm gonna talk about 912 minus 1. I'm gonna use that as an example. You know what 912 minus 1 is? Yeah, that thing, Twin Towers, that thing. And I was doing some research, and I was saying like how reporters were just like quitting. A couple of them committed suicide, and others just went plumb crazy because they were doing investigations into this, and they knew it was wrong. But their friends, when they did it, they were shunned by their publishing companies and news companies, and then many of them were fired from work because they didn't take up the normal narrative about what had happened. And and I was thinking about that. I'm like, man, if somebody can drop a building 7 in broad daylight and then make you not talk about it, you know what I'm saying? All that's just crazy. It's like that's a shining example. If you ever investigate into 912 minus 1, you it's like, come on. I mean, when you drop a plane into the Pentagon and then there's no bodies, there's no plane, there's no engines, and then you're just like, okay, let's go to lunch. You know what I'm saying? Hey, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Hey, wait a goddamn minute. And today it's just old news now. People just like go on. And it was the same thing when AIDS came out. When AIDS came out, they talked about the first 6, 7 AIDS people that was in California, and I was like right on it. I was on Tony Brown's journal, and then Tony Brown's journal was just into it. He brought on Dr. Peter Duesberg, and that was all I knew. That's all I needed to know because I said it was deception. After a while you can just smell deception. You know what I'm saying? When somebody does something and they deceive you, enough times, you can just see it when it's coming. It's like if my supervisor, when I was working, if my supervisor called my name, the way he could call my name, I knew it was some crap about to happen, And I would walk into the office pissed off, and I would find myself in the office pissed off, and the guy's trying to tell me, oh, this happened, that happened, and I'm like, till I got frustrated. In the art of war, deception is just there. I mean, there is no rules. And we as Black people in our situation in America, I think it's bigger than 912 minus 1. The deception has been put on us, as far as I can see, as far as I can see in my life. And in my research, in my study, and in my book, it's the same. It's not the same. It's worse than what happened in that. Clearly, fragrant. And they build documentaries after it. They build news, so many hundreds of news stories about it, and we just like, duh, you know. And you know, uh, we just fall for it. And and I'm like, I'm standing there, I'm watching the accident, and I'm like, God damn, boy, you see the red speeding, obviously. And everybody else looking at it, and they don't know which car. I'm like, man, I was watching it, and I saw the whole thing. It was the red car. Didn't you watch it? Yeah, I saw, but I didn't see the red car going like that fast. And then I'm like, well, look at the accident, and then tell me that somebody wasn't going too fast. It was that. But for many years I was caught up in that back and forth. And then when we started getting these YouTube chats, I started going back and forth with people, and then I get frustrated to the point where I'm like, I'm tired of talking, you know. And what you do when you stop talking, you're either going to do some action, or you're going to, continue to talk. Or I guess I don't know. But me, I'm for action. And I wanted to bring that out to give you some food for thought about the things that they have done to us. So there's a lot of people that are black people that are there in America. They listen to this and they were like, they're sitting on the fence and they want to hear some information. Okay, I'll give you some information. I can give you information all day long, it's just like the rest of them. But as far as I'm concerned, at the level that I'm at, it's like I'm way beyond that. I mean, it's a no brainer. That is probably why I'm today. People look at me like I'm in Roddy. You've been in Africa for 20 years. I'm like, shit. I seen this shit happen. I seen this shit coming 30 years ago. Sitting in my little apartment. I'm like, damn. I got to go to Africa. 1986. Now it took me 10 years to get out, to break out of America's spell, but I was never deterred because I could see all the deception going on, even back then. So, we're here today, and that's the thing I wanted to discuss. Uh, in the educational system, we've been deceived. In the employment level, we've been deceived. Like Neely Fuller said, the 9 areas of activity. The white establishment has to control all those 9 areas of activity. Labor law, I won't go through them. All these kind of things. So I used to go through each level. Each point. Labor. Okay, yeah, he controlled labor like the hell, especially in Pennsylvania, where they kicked them blacks out of the jobs. Oh, I was terrible. Law. I won't even talk about that. I just posted a video on my Black Man's Guide to Moving to Modern Africa in Facebook. Go there, see that lawyer. She just starts crying on the TV. I posted that thing about 2 years ago when it first came out. Somebody else reposted it, and I was like, let me just go and share it again today. Because, some messages, you got to hear them like 4 or 5 times. But she's just telling you that the law, and especially in New York, is just against us. And you could just see she done had a harrowing experience. So, I don't know. Let me see what's in my chat room. I got one person there. Peace, brother. How are you? My eyes can't see these tiny writings when they put it in the chat. So true, like that when they said Saddam was eating yellow cake. Imagine yellow cake sent us to war. And they're trying to do the exact same thing to Iran right now, talking about weapons of mass destruction. Why don't they just say Iran got weapons of mass destruction? Then we could, then we know what they was. We could be like, okay, we could even laugh. But I find out when you laugh at some of the things that they do in America, that shit is dangerous because that shit, you be thinking like that's jokes. That never happened. And then the white man come out and be like, pow! Ah, phone call. Hi. Yeah, okay, I'm coming. Okay. On the channel about going to Congoya Market, we were there today, and you can see her. You can see mostly from behind. I'm just so blessed to have a wife that's like 10 years and she still got that kind of body. Can you imagine? But anyway, that's a different story. So, what was I saying? It's always I get interrupted. Okay, so yeah, we have to, you know, look and imagine about what's going on because we're being deceived. And I can see a lot of conscious brothers can see that. The difference between me and a lot of brothers that realized that became awake is that I left. I left the United States, and so therefore I could keep my eyes open. But somebody, if I was in the United States, I don't think I could survive anymore, knowing what I know, seeing what I see, understanding what I understand, looking at my people all around me, and then seeing so many of them lost. And then I'm there. No, there's a difference between freedom and liberty. What we have in the United States is liberty. We don't have freedom. You can't talk and say what you want to say. You can't go to certain places. You can't go. You know, you want to go. You go, and everywhere you go, you don't see black people. There's another video I posted in the Black Man's Guide to Moving to Modern Africa. Please go check it out about Jomo Kenyatta Beach. Jomo Kenyatta Beach. I think it's in the Black Man's Guide in Facebook. And it's just going to be a picture of the beach, and then hundreds and hundreds of people at the beach. Now, where can you go to the goddamn beach and you can see like 1,000 people, 2, 3, 4,000 people walking around? You don't see no white people. They all black. You understand what I'm saying? That's where I'm at today. You know what I'm saying? I go there, it just feels so wonderful because okay, them is like that's what they know. But I'm like, damn, I come from a country where I go to the beach, you got Mexicans over here, you got whites over there, you got these people over there. And it feel funny, like even if you're going into the water, you know what I'm saying? It's weird, you know what I'm saying? But I got the clothes off, you'll be like, okay, that definitely ain't no black person, you know what I'm saying? And then then your children start running around, you be like, okay, be careful, don't go that side, you know what I'm saying? Yes, you can. There, a group of Mexicans start walking by, you look at them, they look at you, you don't even say hi, they ain't your friend, and they don't have nothing to do with you. But in the picture, in the video that I put in Black Man's Guide at the beach, just check it out. I mean, I go there, I kick it out. I'm like, it's just my people. It's just like that's our land, that's our place, that's our home, and it's us. Ain't no other group dominating or there. So if you ever wanted to experience something so wonderful as to go to the beach and it's only 100% black people, come to Kenya, because that's the only place. I mean, okay, Kenya is rated. Jomo Kenyatta Beach is rated #1 beach. Because if you look at that video, you'll see the waves. But the waves are not strong because there's a reef that cuts the waves from coming in strong. So it makes it a beautiful, it's like a beach, but it's like a lake. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just check out that water and everything, and you see, that, that it's a beautiful place to go. So, and back on the topic, a lot of us we think like we got a handle on things in the United States, but we don't, because deception is the key factor. I remember when President Obama was about to bomb Libya, and they had sent out the media. The media propaganda was so strong that the actual American newsmen were saying Tripoli is being bombed as we speak. And it prompted the people that in Tripoli to come outside and look at like, where? I don't see no bombs. Where? What? Look at our people line. It's peaceful. Okay, granted, they came like 2 weeks later, but it's just amazing how people in the United States were already commenting like it had really happened. They didn't even bother to check because it said it on the news. You just believed it. And the news is one of the most deadliest poisons you can take in America. I was just lucky that I was so busy. I never really watched the news. I had cable. I had 100 channels. I used to brag about I had 100 channel cable, and I never watched it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I used to turn on the TV, press the nude button, the station for nudie, and then I was like, every time I turn on this channel, there's gonna be some people having sex. And so I used to always just test it to see, click, and then it would be like, there they are. They're having sex. See, it's not even a commercial. It's always, you see, in the video. So, you know, oh, I keep losing my point. But anyway, yeah, we're not understanding the level of deception that's being done to us, especially through the news. So, you know, we have to start thinking that, you know, realizing that the news is free, and it's free for a reason, because you wouldn't watch it if you had to pay for it. But it's going to constantly keep you in a state of fear, because you can't absorb that kind of negative stories every time and then not let it affect your mind. And some people are addicted to the news. You can't even go without. You feel like you're missing out. Like the world you're gonna miss something if you don't watch the news. But the news is designed to sensationalize things that don't even really matter to you, can't even affect you. But it makes it in such a way where it sensationalizes it, and you'd be like, "Whoa, good thing I turned on the TV and watched that news story. Otherwise, I would have been not knowing." You know, you kind of think like that. But in actuality, since I really have broken away from the news completely. And in the last almost a year now, I'm like absolutely, totally no news. And Kenya came out with some new money bills, and I'm sitting there like a fool, you know, like, hey, what's going on? And somebody give me this colored money, and I'm like, what's this? You know, they got a new bill out. New money came out. And I was like, I had no clue. But other than that, you know, for all the last, 300 some days, and that's the only thing. You know what I'm saying? If it was something that was major, somebody would bring it to my attention, or you'll see it on social media somehow. But I'm sure they had stories on TV about the new currency, and until I saw it in my hand, it was like it didn't affect me. But once I saw it in my hand, I just went on social media and I caught myself back up instantly on my phone. So I wasn't like totally out of the loop. Anyway. In the area of deception, what they know, what the American government and white people that have stakeholders in our destruction, what they know is a house divided cannot stand, and we are a house divided, and we have been for a long time. And my question is, could that possibly be part of the propaganda that caused us black people not to unite? I mean, usually when you make people suffer, they unite in a common goal, not to be suffering. But we can't seem to do that. And I wonder why. I wonder why if there's a deception. Let me see. I enjoyed being on that panel with you, brother. Okay, you was on the panel with me. Okay. And I think I was one of the brothers I wanted to talk to. If he was one wearing the red shirt. I saw you and I was like, I feel like I connected with you. But we could talk about that then, also. But yeah, I think, like I was saying, a lot of brothers that are in retirement or close to retirement or up in age or have a stream of income, passive, definitely you should come to. Now is the best time to come to Africa because your money will triple in value, and this is a great thing. Okay, that was you, huh? Okay, yeah, we got to hook up. So that's a deception, and it keeps us from separating. Now, what I did, because I understand it a little bit better, is I said, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I have these feelings of distrust towards my fellow brothers, and I know that is bred in me from America. So what I went out to do was find a brother and look out for find would come to Kenya and partner up with me in some businesses that I have already started. And I found James, and James had just moved to Kenya moved to Kenya about 4 or 5 months ago, and we started doing business before we even met each other. We were online doing business, and he was helpful. He went down to some employment agencies, did some business with me, and he's working with me on the CC Gate project. Now he moved from Kenya to Tanzania. No, he settled in Tanzania for like some 4 months. Then he just moved back to Kenya. And last week, last week I was in Nairobi. We finally met, and we ended up staying out late at night, and then ended up going to his house. We did a show for Diners at the Java shop, the coffee shop, and I wanted to go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, which was right across the way. I rarely get a chance to go to Kentucky Fried Chicken. So yeah, just for nostalgia food. Nothing like I like the food. I'm sick of it, but in Kenya it's rare. So, but anyway, we did the show with Dennis. Then we went from there. We went to his house and we did another show. And the brother is a veteran, and he gets a check, and he's living like a king. He got a beautiful Kenyan girlfriend, wife. He's already calling her, and has a very big apartment, and he's just living the life. You know what I'm saying? And he talked about that on the show, and this is what I'm saying. I knew about the deception, and when I felt like these guys were trying to, America is trying to make me feel like I can't trust any black guy, and then I just try to overcome that feeling. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take another chance. You know what I mean? Because the brother could have screwed me one way or the other. But after I told him what I was about, he was like, yeah. And I know there was times he didn't trust me. He was asking me certain questions, doing certain things. I know it. If James, you ever watched this video, I know you. I don't blame you because I had the same feelings. And then recently, I've been talking with another young brother. This is Kevin Tucker out of New York also. And the brother had came to Kenya, and he had went to Malindi, and we hooked up online. And he's back in New York now, but he said he wanted to come back to Kenya. And I was like, look, brother, you're there. And I'm here, and I'm doing this business. And what you can do while you're there is tie yourself to Africa by becoming a stakeholder in my business. He was like, okay, how you do it? And I told him, you're going to pay this amount of money. You're going to get a set agreement. And Kevin, I'm doing your agreement. But you see, I'm on live now, so I can't do it at the same time. But you see, I'm still at the lab, like I told you. But anyway, so the brother came through, sent the money. And now he's a stakeholder in an African business here in Kenya, and I look forward to a great partnership. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things I'm gonna be giving him about the business, and then asking his advice like with the other stakeholders that's dealing with this thing. And then if he wants to get involved in the actual running of the company, I will open up for that. You see what I'm saying? And this is what we have to do. But if we in America and where the deception is so strong, it can really, really, really never happen. And obviously, you look at the situation we have, and it couldn't happen. But the brothers that have been to the continent and understand the continent know that if we just accept the fact that we have been pretty much brainwashed, and then when we come to Africa, we can't have that same mentality. We cannot have that, not even towards the Africans that are here. You know what I'm saying? So this is one of the great things about where I told that other brother on the show that he had to come. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, and then I think it was the Antonio guy. Never will he come, especially with that pigtail in the back of his head. I could just imagine where he's at in his life. But you never know. Somebody that's like that, believing in the Israelite thing. He may change. Like I told him, God bless you, because I understand what he's talking about. He don't know. He chose the Israelite movement, Hebrew movement, and he figured he could come on the show and see if he could sell other people so that he could solidify that he made the right decision. And I told him, you got nothing. And here I'm here in Africa, and this guy's dilemmas are here. They're Kenyan. They got every choice that any other Kenyan has. You know what I'm saying? I'm American, born in America, so I'm never going to be like the total Kenyan. But I look at my children. I live my life through my children when I get old anyway. You see what I'm saying? And this is it. We don't, but America is deceptive. It's God. That's turned all around. We done just screwed up the black family. Like it just like before we used to play football in the street, go to the park, have these barbecues and all of that. That shit ain't even happening today. Too many people sitting on their iPhones and not even caring about what's world going around them. Not even having a conversation with their next door neighbor. So I want today to talk to you guys about that and make sure you realize that, you know, you got to stop living your life like you got 1,000 years to live. As I was saying, that was my punchline. And, you don't have 1,000 years. That's it. You see what I'm saying? So, and if you never left the United States, my goodness, the lies is keeping you from leaving. Okay, and this is my basic point here. When there's deception, all they have to do is make you confused. You can know if you knew the solid truth. If we was in a situation and all black people was in the streets, and we knew what was happening, we knew. We all unite instantly, and we move as one because we would be like, we want the truth, and we know the truth, and this is what we want. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm in Kenya. What can they do to me, really? Okay, maybe they can come after me, but a lot of us are afraid to talk, but that's because you there with them. But I can talk. Whites, and when they confuse us, that causes inaction. See, if we're in the street and we find out, okay, so and so Greg got murdered, and we know it, we saw the video, we all know it, and the policeman is like everybody knew that, like, damn, because they had the videotape. Like, damn, you gonna try to tell me they didn't hit the man with the sticks? Come on now, you didn't mean to tell me they wasn't on the police radio and Gorilla in the Mist and all these kind of talks. So that caused a riot. But you see now, today they confuse the issue. They can confuse the issue and give ruling in 2014, I think it was, that that said that the news can lie to you. And it's not against the law for them to lie to you. So you can't sue the news because they lied to you or told you something that was false. So really, that's why you look at the news anyway. But if somebody says Africa is a bad place, and somebody else comes in and say Africa is a good place, it just causes inaction in you. Because now where if you could be convinced that Africa was a great place, then you wouldn't even hesitate. You just go. You see what I'm saying? But because as I talk about Kenya, coming to Kenya, somebody else is going to tell you, no, that's not a good place to go. Then they lie. Like, okay, Africans don't like Kenya. Black people, like, damn. You see, and I used to fight that shit. Then they used to say the Chinese are going to take over Africa, and I'm like, come on. I don't even know what African is, and I've been here 20 years. I mean, I don't even know a Chinese person. I've been here 20 years. This is the misnomer. This is the thing. They deceive us, and that causes us not to act. And so, meanwhile, along the way, you're still building up this history. This history is still developing. You can't, history is there. And so history creates like statistics. It's statistics. And you start hearing these statistics, so many black people's in prison. So many black people getting shot by the police. So many black communities are being gentrified out of existence. And you hear that. But we had this bad habit of ignoring. It's like I'm saying with the 912 minus 1 thing. We all know it happened. We all seen the video 1,000 times. But we can't talk about it. And we don't talk about it. I mean, if they can do that so blatantly in our face, I'm trying to make you wake up now, some of you sleeping people. Think about it. What can't they do to us? What can't they do about us in their country? They got a handle on us because there's no way we're gonna run around with 0.1% of the wealth of the country, and we black people talking about we the ones. We the ones that can carry the ball, jump higher, run faster, smart, and everything else. And damn, America keep us at 1% economically, less than 1%, less than 0.5% economically. That means if you go to New York and it's got like 1,000 buildings, we own 0.1 of those buildings. If you talk about the manufacturing section, you got 100% of manufacturing saying we own 0.5% of that. Probably all small businesses. See? So you put that stuff in perspective, we don't have a chance. And if we don't have a chance, our children sure don't have a chance. And that brings me back to my main line, as I said before. So if you like what I'm talking about, if you want to get more business videos on business, you see the Congoya Market one, and tomorrow I'm supposed to interview a brother in the transport business. I think we're gonna start at the low level, start with the border, and then move to the Nissan or the Matatu level, talk to people there, and then we move up to the main trucking industry and talk to people there. But if you really thinking about coming to Africa, or you're sitting on the fence and you really want to know if you should or should not do it, this is the place for you to be. But do like this. Go ahead and put this. Okay, I want to put a shout out to, I believe his name is Jeremy. He sent out $5 to the cause using World Remit, and I'm gonna shout out to Kevin Tucker, who joined the business of CC Gate. He's now an official stakeholder. He sent out that money, and he's going to be getting the paperwork, and we're going to sign a deal, and we're going to work, and we're going to be, our word is our bond. So if you want to help out, and we don't have super chat, African super chat in Africa, so we have that, and this is how we've been working it. So get it all right. And I put this red arrow here so that if you do send money to Western Union, you make sure you put mobile wallet and then tell them M-Pesa, and this is the phone number. This is the number you use, and this is the name of my wife. You can see her on there. I'm gonna make sure she comes on. I keep saying that. And this the number is connected to her. I've been using this number for like 15 years. I don't know. Those days it really didn't matter, but they're getting very about the phone numbers of people being the ID. So I have my own number, but it's confused you, and it's under a different carrier, not under Safaricom. So Safaricom, they have M-Pesa, and that's why we continue. I've been using it for so long. Watching this attempt for people to do African super chat. So you shoot me over $3, $5. Tell me, what you think about the program. I get a wealth of information, as I've been told, but I know my knowledge is like a grain of salt, and that's why I always keep studying, and I've always been a researcher, and I think I've gotten for the last 30 years. So it's almost, when they talk about a professor is somebody who can prophesize because they have enough knowledge to see things and go forward. And I believe that in the 1980s, doing all that research that I was doing and amassing a very substantial sized library of Black conscious information and information in general, that it gave me the ability to prophesize and see what the future held. But I think it was the ancestors that touched me in 1986, told me you got to go to Africa. And then I sat there on my little business table and in a moment of silence, and just said, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. And I just kept on moving from that point until I finally came over to Africa for a fact-finding mission. And then the ancestors was like, no, you ain't going back, And so I thought I'd have a chance to go back and at least bring my books. But now I realize that would have been a waste of time, bringing my books all the way here. And then later on, my niece, who I had stored my books with, told me that the LA had a big flood and they all got destroyed. And I was feeling down, but today, because of the internet and thanks to Google, I have access to almost all those books that I had back in the day, and it's I'm just happy that I can get on the internet and PDF me some black destruction of black civilization, PDF me some stolen legacy, and sit back and read it and just be like I was when I first read them back 40 years ago. Was it 30 years ago? 40 years ago? 20, 10? Yeah, 30 years ago, 30 something years ago. Uh, and I recommend that if you don't use these platforms to uh, educate yourself. Because now you don't even have an excuse. Because even if you was like one of those people that didn't get a chance to learn how to read and write in school, it's damn sure you can watch a fucking video and get the knowledge. And if you need somebody to help guide you, because it's a lot of knowledge, you want to go the right direction, you can always hit me up in the comment section, and I can tell you where you show me your level of understanding, and I can tell you what you should read, like a pharmacist. I give you the right prescription. But some of you are seeing this for the first time. Okay, you're not watching it live now. You see this like 3 days later. Do it now. Send that $3 for this channel because we're gonna be different. I came in this country and introduced Mantis Kempo, which is martial art I created in the United States, and I had the largest school in the Federation, BKF. If some of you didn't know, back then they tried to erase me from the history books, and then but they were not able to. And I came to Kenya, and then it's the number one practice martial art as far as adults are concerned. And we're going to soon be the number one martial art as far as children are concerned. We're rapidly expanding on that. And I have lots of black belts in the country. Then they black belts have black belts, and those black belts have black belts. And I'm happy to say that Kenyans are beautiful people. They recognize one who introduced the martial arts in the country, and they take care of me, and I appreciate that. But we still got a long way to go because we are in Kenya now. But there's martial arts outside of Kenya is still 20 years behind modern martial arts that's in Kenya. And we're gonna go visit those countries, and then we're gonna expand it there. And if there's somebody out there that's into martial arts and they want to come to Africa, then you can join us because that's gonna be a wonderful life experience, going to other countries and introduce martial arts. So, as well as a digital revision opportunities that we have there, and you can join us. Yes, you can join us in digital revision and help me pay these employees because that's a bill and a half. You know what I'm saying? Paying these young people. I love it. And but the business is just starting, and payroll, even for big companies, is like a challenge. And I find myself now I'm having to do that. But if anybody want to come out and get on the ground floor, if you have knowledge of IT and you retired, definitely you need to come down here to Kenya and see the opportunities that's available. It's almost like it's endless. There's a lot of people here. A lot of people watch the news too much. Then they be like, "Oh, there's no jobs in Kenya," and I'm like, "Man, come on," because I'm walking past street light posts, and on the street light posts, all these posters saying, "Jobs here, jobs there, come for jobs." You see, and I don't see any young people sitting around like, "Man, Mr. Robbie, give me 50 bob, I don't have a job." Nothing like that. It's too much work. And the country is expanding. So as so many other African countries, rapidly. Whereas the black community in the United States is stagnant at best. I say that we're dying off. They're killing us off, and we don't really see it. And like the 912 minus one thing, they just pretend like they don't see what the truth is. It's like we've been deceived. And that's the thing. So rather than go through a life suffering situation with okay, we're black, we're strong, we can handle it. Like some of us are still falling into drugs and giving up. Some of us are even committing suicide. Very few of us compared to white people, but we're definitely, uh, just hitting them hard times. I mean, I can't stand. There's a brother out there that had a good, was raised properly in school. Something tragic happened in fucking high school, and then it affected him all the way to the point where now he's out on the, living in a fucking tent in the streets on drugs. I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? And then the country don't give a shit about you. You know? So I don't understand. And a brother comes up, gets a good job, stays on the job for 10 years, or even some 15 years, and then they let him go, and then he's not employable. So he falls into drugs, gets into debt, and then drops out of society on the streets. Or gets picked up and arrested, don't give a shit, is in prison, and just kicking it back in prison and like this, and not even thinking about what I'm gonna do when I get out of prison. You see? So 80% of us that commit crime, go to prison, end up coming back to prison. That'd be our home. And you think that that's freedom. And you think that you contributing to life. And you're not, because when you get older, you're gonna be snuffed out, or they're gonna kick you out of prison, and they're not gonna care about you anymore, and you're gonna just die like that. And you're gonna, you might have some children out there that disgusted, they won't even talk about you, won't even recognize you as that you their father. And this is going on, and this is part of the reason why we are weak. That deception that keeps us from even being with our woman. And black woman is our partner, and we can't survive without her. And unfortunately, a lot of brothers don't understand that. I learned that about when I became first black. When I first became black, I learned that there were some really good books on about how to treat women, and it made me understand about when they say African queen. And before I was black conscious, I wasn't that great. I thought I was good because I had little money, and I used to take my girlfriend out to entertain her when I got married. I thought I was a good husband, but I was nothing. And when my wife and I finally separated, and I was an asshole, you know, compared to when I became black. The thing that happened when I was black conscious is for me to realize how to respect a black woman, and I never mistreated the woman that I was with since that point. Okay, I had one relationship where the girl was just too crazy, and that she liked to cause arguments and craziness. But that was just a small incident. But there's no other than that, because everybody makes mistakes, and I feel bad about it. That's why I brought it up. But when I look back at the situation, it was only a minute, and she was just that kind of person. I didn't want to be with her. I kicked her out, and then instead of leaving, she slept on my front door. So when I went in the morning to go outside for something, I don't know, early in the morning, she was there sleeping on my front porch, and I felt so bad that I was like, okay, well, if somebody's dedicated to me this much, then there must be something. Let me keep trying. But it was a mistake, and you live and learn. But my present wife, we've been together for 10 years now, about, and in the way they are, I wouldn't have those kind of children in the United States. You know what I mean? I love my children in the United States so much. I was black conscious during that time, and she wasn't survive this long if I was not a true brother. And I shouldn't even have to tell you that, because you see me, I'm 60 years old, and I'm still here. So that's going to be it for today. I want to tell Mr. I can't even pronounce this name, Mr. Abraham, Mr. Patrick. Whether you make sure you write me up and hit me up in the comment section. And Cave Crusher, thanks for popping in. I think you probably popped out. But some people will see this later on in the daytime. Please don't let that deter you as you get this information. We're talking about Black Man's Guide to Moving to Modern Africa. Not any just part of Africa, but modern Africa. And you need to know the difference between modern Africa and the Africa that they be showing you in the United States. Things are just jumping off here, and we are all going to be a part of it. So, yeah, Black Man's Guide. How come Diane's and them can type so nicely quickly? Can't even tell they're online typing. Guide to Modern Africa. And I tell you what, if somebody decides to, okay, spell check. If someone decides to hit me up with a $10 support, I will send you a PDF copy of my book, Black Man's Guide to Moving, Visiting, and Doing Business in Modern Africa. So that's what I'm saying for you guys today, because I don't believe in, you guys just chat because I'm talking. I want to give out things, wealth of information. And I want to thank again, Kevin Tucker. You're going to be to the CC Gate family. And if anybody wants to look into the what we're doing, this is it. It's a very simple website, but a very powerful one, because we think we're going to be able to market it right and expand it all through not only Kenya, but through Eastern Africa. Digital revision is the way to go for the future of Africa. And I've seen it work many times, and students really like it. Parents really understand it. It's going to be the medium. It's going to replace books. It's going to replace the need for books. Digital revision. Okay, so that's it for me tonight. Let me sign out, and until we meet again, look forward to seeing that video on the business and border business in Africa as an option for you to get involved in. I'm gonna be explaining on how you can use M-Pesa to run that business from the U.S. So you can actually start a business, get a business partner here, start a business, put some funds in, and then invest some funds in, and then you start getting returns for your money. I mean, why you don't gotta be in Africa to make money in Africa. And I'm gonna be explaining to you that. So if you're getting interested in that, let me know. And I'm already doing it. I don't know, Kevin Tucker is probably here. Come on in the comment line, talk to you, talk to him. James Smith, my other business partner buddy. I know I got to get back there next to his house just so I can go to Kentucky Fried Chicken. And then we start making plans to move forward. So until we meet again, this is Amin Rock. Oh, St. Jeffrey, you coming in at a late time, brother. If you're interested, hit me up in the comment section, and can watch the video from the beginning, because we're just talking about doing business in modern Kenya, as well as the deception that the United States uses. All warfare is deception. And there's a lot of deception going on. We really can't start regurgitating back the nonsense that they've been giving us in the propaganda world. And the news can deceive us. It is legal for the American news agencies to lie to us. So really, what are you doing when you watch CNN and watch these shows? Okay. What we need is more leaders to start talking about leaving the United States as an option to all of the things that's happening to us in the United States as far as the Black people is concerned. And I'm not a leader in that respect yet, because I don't want to be shot. I don't want these goddamn CIA people to come to my house in Kenya and be like, I know they won't even knock. They just be sticking some poison in my food. To get to my channel on Facebook, search this name just like that. If you wanna email me, this is my email address. And once again, this is the business I'm doing for digital revision in Kenya. The name of the organization that I am the Grand Master of is this one on Facebook. Oh, I've done a lot of things, and if you want Karate League. Oh man, I know I'm not much of a talker, but I'm doing. So Africans for Karate League, that's another business opportunity that's there. A lot of Kenyans that come out there, but there's brothers in the United States that have the experience in business, and it's desperately needed here. That's I imagine myself on the street of Bamburi here in Mombasa, and I'm pitch a fucking tent on the street. You think I'll last 10 minutes before somebody be like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? Where you going? Well, come home with me. Get some food." You know, it can't happen. You know, ain't no bums here. Ain't no crazy drug. They get rid of drug addicts quickly. I don't know. Today, right here outside the lab, I don't know what happened to this brother. They came and they had hemmed him up. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it ain't like in the United States. When you get caught, then please don't take me. You know, it was just outside here. I was listening to that. You know, and it was funny. I don't know. I don't know the details. It just looked like some guy. I don't know if he broke the handle or what, but it was just a little faucet from one of the water drums. But anyway, I'm talking too much. I'm gonna cut this channel off now. And yeah, if you guys, you know, are interested in doing business in Africa and doing all the things they hear, you know, I don't want to make it sugar coated. At the same time, I don't want you to be deceived by the lies that's out there. So get with me. Until the next time, peace.